our co-host. I'm Dr. Darcy Toomey, and I'm co-hosting this with Miss Mary Pierce, as well as Dr. Kevin Logan. And I would like to take a moment for each of them to introduce themselves. And while we're introducing ourselves, if you wouldn't mind in the chat adding your name, where you're located, whether by college or city or state, and also add a little fun fact about yourself, your school, where you are, just to add some camaraderie to our conversation. So, Kevin, would you like to get started?
Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin Logan. I am the Director of Skill Point with NACCE. I am located just outside of Washington, D.C. in Southern Maryland, about 38 miles south of D.C. And a fun fact about me is that I am a girl dad. And so I did all of the things that came with raising daughters. I look back now, a lot of fun. And interestingly enough, talking about business entrepreneurship, they didn't want to talk about it then. Now they constantly call me about, Dad, what about this? What do you think about this? I'm like, no, remember those times y'all didn't want me to talk about it? So that's a little fun fact that we have within the family. And I'll pass it on to Mary.
Thank you. I'm Mary Pierce, and I am the Ogallala Campus Administrator for Mid Plains Community College. We are a 7-campus community college in, I'm going to say, rural Western Nebraska. So we're located about 3 hours from Denver, about 3 hours from Lincoln. So kind of in the middle of, some people would say nowhere, but I don't say that. We're located just 8 miles from Lake McConaughey, which is a beautiful recreation area. So my fun fact is I'm a beach walker. And so usually in the afternoon, lunch hour, you can find me walking the beaches, and I pick up random, some people would call it trash. One man's trash is another's treasure. And I am creating a piece of art out of what I find.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the introductions. And I'm Darcy Toomey. I'm the Director of Events and Programs here at NACCE. My fun fact is I love cherry pie. I like baking pies, but my favorite is cherry followed by chocolate pie and maybe coconut. So this is an interactive conversation. Both Kevin and Mary will add as we go through. So it's conversation between the three of us helping you out with the success of participating in the pitch. This is my 4th year of doing it. I am very passionate about this competition. I enjoy doing this competition, and we have worked with individuals from Hawaii all the way to Florida, with all the states in between. And we are here to answer any questions either for today or into the future if you have any questions as you move through this process. So today is an overview. Kevin, Mary, do you have anything to share? Any fun facts or things you want to share about the pitch before we get started?
Nope, not at all.
No, you just start.
So today we're going to do the concept, look at the concept, timeline. There are website resources. And if you are selected to go from the preliminary round to the actual presentation being held in California this year, there is mentorship to help out. So there is support before the presentations, preparation for California, and then when you're there. So we do want to support you throughout this entire process. Um, the pitch is an opportunity to work with faculty, staff, and administrators along with presidents on your campus. This is not a student competition. This is a campus competition. We've had presidents involved, we've had board members involved. It does not mean that a student cannot be part of the presentation, but it is not a student competition. It is an administrative campus college. And each presentation is limited to 3 minutes. So you can do a lot in 3 minutes. You can ask Mary. That's one of the reasons why she's here, along with Kevin. They both have pitch experience. And so pulling from their expertise, it can be done. It's daunting, but everyone's been very successful with that. And the preliminaries is like a practice round to get to the finals. So again, we work with everyone individually as we go through the process. Currently, we started out in 2019, and we've had different sets of winners throughout it. We've had in 2022, we had the foundation involved as a test case, and then we went back to the skilled trades in 23 and 24. The reason being is foundations are already part of the skilled trade process. So we combined them back, and that's why there was a trial year of 22 to see the difference. But each year we've had very successful schools, and you can tell we've had between 5 to 6 winners each year. And the projects have ranged across the way when we've done it. Anything is under consideration as a project. It has to be new and revolutionary and different for your campus. So it's not a matter like changing textbooks or changing locations. It's bringing a new program. So we've had colleges that have won based on drones and agriculture, constructing tiny new homes, which Mary is involved with. So I don't know if she'll like to add to that. Electrical automobiles, that has been an adventure for that program. Robotic training that they go in, both use on their campus as well as examples in the community when they go to community events. One college is now ordering their first 3D printing house machine. That's been a not challenge or obstacle, but it's been a learning experience curve going through that process to get into 3D house building. And then one college had the novel idea of, with their turf grass program, having the students actually operate a business so that when they're going through their programs, they do operate a business and work with customers in their community. So at this, Mary, is there anything that you would like to share? Because you've gone through this process, and opening the floor to you.
Oh, thank you. I will just tell you that I was so nervous, and I didn't think that our project would rank anywhere up to the projects you've heard about. But it's a great experience, and don't be intimidated by hearing the projects that are successful.
Thank you. Kevin, would you like to add anything?
No, I would just say that, let your ideas flourish. You all do this all the time. For those of you all that stand before students, so become your own student. Kind of talk to yourself and then run around the desk real quick and sit in the chair and say, okay, now what would I tell myself if I sat here? Because the answers are actually, and have fun with it. It is a lot of work. It is daunting, but smile through it. You can go kind of through it as well, but it is enjoyable.
Thank you. And and thank you, Mary, about bringing up it being daunting, because one college extended their barbering program. They had growth. Another area expanded and came in with new novel ideas for their welding. So there are traditional items, and like with the automotive, the electrical cars, they already had the automotive program. Now they wanted to go into the E because of the need of repairing those in their community. So I chose some novel ideas, but also the Radcliffe Foundation, Miss Carlene Cassidy recognizes that every community's needs are different, and the goal is to support that growth and those new programs on your colleges. So you may not think it's novel, but it is novel for your institution, and that's what we're here to support. Um, on the website, and this will be sent out as well, the presentation, so you don't have to write down everything, but here is the schedule. And so therefore we have the webinar today, applications will close in August, and then we'll announce the semifinalists on the 19th and have virtual semifinal competition on the 22nd, on September 2nd and September 3rd. And so in between now and August, we're all available to ask any questions. If I don't know the answer, I'll definitely pull from Kevin and Mary for their assistance in answering questions. We're available because our goal is to have success in these competitions and go from there. So one individual submitted their application, spoke with me, they pulled their application, redid it, and resubmitted it. that is fine. That is completely fine. Again, our goal is to have you be successful, not to eliminate you. Ours is to support. So that is available. And then on September 2nd and 3rd, what we do is I go through the applications and they're put together in random order. The only thing that is divided out is by time zones. So I have the 2nd reserved for the afternoon of the 2nd, and then on the 3rd, I reserve that in the morning for the different time zones. So the afternoon will be set for those on the West Coast because we've had Hawaii, so including all the way to Hawaii, as well as then in the morning, we focus more on the East Coast time zone. So we do want to take that in consideration and not have individuals up at 4 o'clock in the morning, which by accident I did one time. So we don't want to relive that. So that's the only quirk that we do for September, and then we request that all selected finalists be present at the national conference and will present on the stage. This year we will be out in California and San Diego. You'll be on the stage. You'll work with Mary, Kevin, and I in putting that together. 3 minutes, it goes fast. It's a lot of fun. Mary, Kevin, do you want to share anything about that experience about working with the teams at the actual conference?
I'm gonna let Mary go first.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. It was so wonderful because you get a mentor, and our mentor, Stephanie Tolbert, she literally practiced with us. And frankly, we were nervous, and we practiced and we practiced and we practiced and we watched other people practice. And it's a competition. Everybody's so supportive of each other. So, you're sharing a stage to practice on. And then I'm going to take a step back to your initial virtual presentation, the 3 minutes. That's very, you're scared. I was scared. But that 3 minutes, and Kevin, he mentored us through that process. And again, it was the practice, practice, practice. So.
Yeah, thank you, Mary. Yeah, again, I'm gonna say for those that stand before students, and this is the time where you have to drink your own Kool-Aid, and you have to practice, you have to do those particular things. But we want you all to succeed in this, and you all will. And there's a difference in standing, in the front of a room and practicing either in front of Darcy, Mary, or myself, and then standing on the stage. Take that opportunity to stand on the stage. I know it's like only, 4 to 5 feet high, but walk up there, because when you're looking out, you're standing above, and so it just brings like this different perception. And once you get into it, you just honestly flow with it. Um, Everything doesn't have to be I don't want to say scripted. It doesn't have to be a PowerPoint. It can be a skit, as long as you bring forth like those uniqueness, and the more you do that, think about the things that you like to see and enjoy, and implement that into your presentation. You don't have to go up and show a PowerPoint on every single thing that you do. You can utilize it. There's all types of uniqueness that took place for the audience to get and understand the businesses.
Thank you. And Mary, do you have any more follow-up after that? Because I think you could add even more to what Kevin just said.
I do. I mean, I'm a 65-year-old woman, and my boss was my partner, and she's 60, and we pretended we were contractors, building contractors. So we had fun with it. We wore tool belts, we wore hard hats. Did we feel ridiculous? Perhaps, but we were really, really proud to be up there, like Kevin said, to be on that stage. And I know Marla's on this call as well, and you get cheerleaders, you get people from other schools that really want you to succeed. So it's wonderful. Thanks.
Thank you. And that is the goal, is that, let me say a couple things. One, with the semifinalists, everything is broken into 15-minute quarters. So you have time to come into the call, speak with the judges. There's only 5 of us, so we're very relaxed, laid back. Then you have your 3 minutes. If you go over the 3 minutes, we allow it. I stop it at 4. And that gives you a sense about where are we. Some people stop at 2:45. Some people have gone all the way to 4 minutes. But then if you're selected to go on, that shows how to work back to meet to the 3. And then there's final questions and answers for the judges. So that's the semifinals is in the 15-minute segments. And basically California will be the same way. You come in, you do have that stage presence, you have a 3-minute presentation. The judges are industry leaders from across the country. So they are selected from Carlene and Becky, our CEO and president, that they are selected. And so you have industry representatives, but they're fair, they're honest, they want you to succeed as much as everybody else, because I work with the judges as well. And then we move on. So do what is comfortable for you. We've had a president in a cape that came in, and then we had 2 individuals that actually just had a conversation, stood there and explained their deal. So a skit is not required. It is what kind of presentation is comfortable for you and your team. And again, we have mentors to help you out to work through that. So therefore, we'll finish out that the competition's on August 6th, which is a Monday, and then the pitch guidelines. The website, I'm going to stop sharing this for a moment. And then, hey, everybody, now I see everybody's names. And pardon me, my computer's I don't understand what's going on. Just one moment. So everyone should see the pitch for the skilled trades. Suzanne, our marketing individual, helped put this together with me. It is on our website under opportunities and 2025 pitch for the skilled trade. Everything is here. Our video will be posted. There's the picture from last year's teams, from the different teams that won. And then we have the rules. So Carlene always likes to explain that the primary goal of the pitch for the skilled trades is to expand opportunities in the skilled trades and apprenticeship through innovative and novel educational programs, and to provide a path to employment or new venture creations. So this is Ms. Carlene Cassidy is the president CEO of the Ratcliffe Foundation, who supports this initiative, provides NACCE with $150,000 each year to be divided up amongst the winners, and that is the her mission and everything. So with this is again the timeline. So if there's any questions, that is available for review, along with questions and answers. These are a list of questions that have came up over the years from 2019 to present. As questions come up, this can be a quick place to look at to see if an answer may be here, but always please email me. That is not a problem. I am happy and available to answer any questions that you may have.
I do have one question in the chat, and is there a limit on how many people can be a part of the presentation?
Nope. We've had 1 person, we've had 2 people, and then 8 people walking around them looking like for jobs. We've had teams of 5. So yes, as long as you can fulfill your presentation in 3 minutes, there is not a limit. Anything else, Suzanne? I'm happy to help.
No, I don't have any other questions, but I do want to add that by tomorrow we'll have a link to the application page. It's not currently on there, but it will be by tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. And then here are the application questions at a glance. So again, everything is public. There are no hidden items whatsoever. The key thing that I do want to express is that positions cannot be funded by this grant award. All funding has to go to support that project. So a person's position has to be accepted to fulfill this, the award and the project. we do not fund salaries or anything like that for a year, even if it's for $2,000. It's a zero. So I just wanted to make you aware there was some miscommunication last year, unfortunately, on my side, and I just wanted to clarify that for this year. So there's all of the questions that are available that can go through,
Can
and
I jump
then
in real
yes,
quick?
go for
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Yeah.
If you would scroll back up just a little bit.
Yep.
So one of the things is make sure that you answer each question first. A lot of times individuals, get caught up in the idea and they actually forget to answer the specific question. So for number 10, what is the total budget? We know that there are other different things that are going to come in and contribute, but start, what is that total budget? And then break that down, because you'll supply the other subcomponents of it and individuals will have to do the math themselves. Don't have that takes their focus away from what you may be saying. So if you have that total budget there and any of the other questions, how much, number 8, how much funding are you requesting? You may break it down what it's going to be for, but give that total number up front first, and then any other supportive information. So thank you, Darcy.
Oh no, that's no problem. And Mary, please add too. What because you went through this, please add, include.
Yes, I'll follow on what Kevin said. We had this printed out and we would check off that we hit every one of these questions and had an answer. And it was very important because the first time we went through it, then we saw what we missed, but we literally checked them off. We used it as an outline.
Thank you, thank you. And both Mary and Kevin, please continue to chime in because this is a very important part, and we're only 25 after, so we still have a little bit of time. Is that ask for the amount that you need. If it comes out to be 80,000, write down 80,000. Some teams have been awarded 22,000 because that is what their ask was, and so their project was fully funded. If you do ask for 80, you probably will not receive it, but you may receive a portion of it. Because one of the things that is different colleges have been very successful at is receiving an award and then getting matching funds once they return to their community. Several colleges have, the president has matched their funding when they returned with his special funds. One college, the board of directors came together with funding and brought it to the team and funded the project. And then one college went to the community and was sharing, and they came out with 3 visual glasses from the award. And now it's like have 25 visual glasses. It's in 8 different programs across the country, across the community in the college. And that was all fully funded. The additional 22 were funded by community leaders in support of those different programs. So there has been great success with this being seed funding and then being expanded into more growth and projects growing bigger than what they thought they would be. Mary, Kevin, would you either want to elaborate either on that?
I'll just say that the publicity, when we announced that we received funding from this, it was very impressive. So we have gained some more partners since, and we also were awarded some additional college funds. So yeah, it does make a difference.
Yeah, and I'll say that that's part of the ecosystem. You don't have to do this all by yourself and alone. And so if you have someone else supporting you, let it be known in your pitch. These are my supporters. And then, as Darcy said, when you go back to your community and other people see what you've done, it's just amazing to see. You know what? I want to be a part of this. How can I help? What do you need from me? And just being able to show that you participated and you did this. And then it also speaks to, the forwardness that you all have with your colleges, as well as, we did this. And so if we did it, we can definitely encourage others to do it, our students to do it. And that just becomes that that living element that just moves before us. And so it is just really great to see and to receive and hear those stories of, of all the hard work, not just receiving funding, but then what comes after it.
Thank you for both, because another story is that one college received funding, and as Mary said, it went into the media and the press, and for some reason private individual read the article, was passionate about it, wrote a check. I think, Kevin, was $25,000, a personal check, and then went on to have a fundraiser on behalf, where they had a silent auction and a ticket, which raised even more money for their project. And that was just from a small news article. By winning it, and a private citizen became passionate and a supporter of it. So there are a lot of positive, great things that come out of this competition. As Mary said from the very beginning, it's a lot of work on your campus and getting things involved, but it's amazing what unexpected outcomes come from it that are unexpected. And so please, both Mary and Kevin, and also if any of you have any questions, please continue to put them in the chat and we will answer them. And so that goes into the judge's rubric. Here is the judge's rubric. We have notes, and it's straightforward. It's what the semifinalists use, and it is what they use at the national conference. So there are no secrets, there's no hiding. Everything is done. If it's revised, it is put back up on the website, so everyone is fully aware about how they go about it. So I just want to make sure that everything's transparent. And then going back to what Kevin was saying, is that Carlene requested, make sure, here are all the questions. Define the problem. What is the solution? And creating a budget. So yeah, you may have administrative costs of a person of $20,000. Put that in the budget, because that is the cost to the project. Or if it's $10,000 because of the time sharing. And then what is, and what about space renovations? What is the cost to your campus? Because that is a budget item to your campus, is renovating costs. The barber shop had to take down walls, I think, Mary, they said, and then they had to repaint it. And so they have the building and the structure, but they had to revamp that space. So this is what they're after. And then if you have matching funds, add to that. Our president has added to, or we are going to host an event to raise money. All of that is about community building. And so this here is a worksheet that Carlene and I worked together that she wanted to make sure all participants had access to. So again, that there's clarity of that. Mary, Kevin, is there anything that you would like to add to the financial side?
I'll just say that this, the way this was laid out here, we copied that exactly. Sometimes you think, oh, it has to be an Excel spreadsheet and it has to be really fancy. It wasn't. We literally used this.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll echo Mary. This is the template. And if you decide to go and you utilize something else, make sure you utilize this to make sure you have everything on there. But this, you cannot go wrong with this. And thinking, as Darcy said, think about those, space renovations. What does it mean? Have the building, don't have the building, want to get the building, whatever the case may be. Those are the true costs that are there. And again, you may not get the $80,000 or $90,000, but the portion that you do get opens it up for an opportunity for someone else to contribute to it. So I'll stop right there.
Thank you.
Hey,
Suzanne.
Yes, there is another question in the chat. Is there an official definition of skilled trades?
Skilled trades, and Mary, Kevin, please chime in, has to do with more of the traditional welding. It's not marketing. Skilled trades could be photography department. So it is the trade area. If you think you're on the borderline, email me and I will ask. So it is technology, it is creation, construction, things of that sort. But I forgot who asked me something that was on the side, and I will follow up with Carlene and ask for clarification. For example, someone wanted to do the marketing department, and that's really not a trade per se. However, if this is the example that Carlene gave me. However, if the marketing is working with their IT department, computer programming, and the concept is software where you can try on your new clothes virtually before you buy them in your living room. That is a skilled trade that's new, novel, two departments working together and things of that sort. So it is a traditional concept, but it can be in the middle. So please email me your question, and I am happy to research it and follow up with you, because I do not want to say it's a hard definition, because we can move on the parameters of it. Mary, Kevin, what is your take?
I've always just separated it from for credit, the math, the English, those kinds of programs. But it is a great question. And I'd also be interested in that official definition, because so many things cross over anymore. And with the challenges of education, we are doing a lot more non-credit things. So it's a great question.
Yeah. So that's the same story that Ms. Carlene Cassidy shared with me, and I was trying to think of it. So Darcy, thank you for saying it, because I would have messed it way up. It's and so it went a little further also to say push the envelope. So you might be right here, but if you join and combine something else, then it can become that skill trade. It's not that traditional, it can be the traditional blue collar that we all may be familiar with, but then what aren't we familiar with? And when in doubt, as Darcy said, email her. She will not get tired. Don't think that you're bugging her like, okay, I don't want to email her again. Email her again. I believe, and I'm going to step out here a little bit. That helps Darcy get clarity and helps those that she works with also have more clarity in order to support you all. And so maybe you come with, this and you're only at that level, but the next step just reveals something that you hadn't thought about at all. So don't don't think that it's a question that you don't want to answer, or you feel, dumb and asking it. Ask the question.
Thank you to both of you. Yes, questions, send me questions. I think I already opened with that. I'm very passionate about this project. I loved working with all the colleges from across the country. I learned so much from all of you, as well as hopefully trying to help you with being successful. So I'm always available. And the quotes from the past winners. One of the couple things, and I sort of jump ahead, is we have different feedback. So from the winners, here's a supposed to have more. Yeah, PD version is going through the process before, during, and after. And so these are just some words of wisdom and things of that sort. So one is like start early. The earlier you know, the better off you are. One college administration decided, I forgot what group it was, let's say cosmetology, that they wanted to advance their program. So administration met all summer long. So when cosmetology faculty came back, they gave them their idea. And of course, there was pushback because cosmetology was not involved with the planning through the summer because they were off for the summer. And so that made that project more difficult because they didn't have all the key players involved. So definitely think through what you want to do. It may involve the community, it may involve your president, it may involve the board, it may involve maintenance. Maintenance is a key player in a lot of these in these projects. So think through your project and think through about how to get it involved. And also, we had one college who one of the administrators wrote the application, went through it, but they had the department head deliver the presentation. Make sure the department head's involved with it, because then they can answer the questions to the judges. So there was a little bit of struggle. They did go in and win, and they were awarded the money, but again, is like understanding the nuances and going through. I'm getting a little bit ahead, but another thing is on your campus is pitch in front of people who you don't know. Like Mary said, the English and the math department. You in business and you in welding know your program in and out. You want to expand. You want this new equipment that's novel for your area. You can talk the talk, but go to somebody that's a friend of yours on the opposite side of campus and pitch to them to make sure there's clarity in what you're saying. And Mary, you keep nodding your head yes. So I am going to pass this to you.
Oh, I'm just agreeing with what you say. Start early. I love that. Don't doubt yourself. Sometimes self-doubt, oh, is this even worthy of trying to pitch? Don't doubt yourself. If you have a great idea, like Kevin said, we all have really great ideas, and sometimes they just sit there. We'll move them forward. And we practiced in front of anyone who would listen to us. And some were willing and some weren't, but you know, it's just have a different audience. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I would push it a little further and say, have a lunch and learn and invite them and practice in front of them. Bring them to the auditorium. You know, if you got a budget and you can buy sandwiches, that food is always an incentive, you know, and then have a feedback sheet. You know, how do we do that? You know, again, everything is right here on the rubric that you can share and say, hey, grade us on this. You know, where do we need to improve? Did we have one group grade on that? Have another group say, did we answer every question? And utilize that to get better. Darcy, if I can, and you can stay right here on the screen, but the pitch deck, everything is going to be in the pitch deck for you to utilize. Also, if you decide to add to that pitch deck, just make sure that you stay within your time frame. Let me say it like that. So if you want to add another slide or something to further support us or substantiate what you're saying, that's fine, but stay within the time frame. And that pitch deck, you can use that exact pitch deck. You don't have to, you know, do that creativity if you don't want to. You can utilize that, and people have successfully been awarded with just utilizing that.
Can you see the pitch deck?
We cannot.
You cannot. Okay, I did not. Okay, because I went over there. So let me go to the pitch deck. And great point, because there are questions about the pitch deck. Can you see this now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. There is a pitch deck, thank you, I forgot all about this, that goes with this again as another aid. And that's what I'm using for our presentation today, is the pitch deck. And it has the questions, and it walks you through each of the items. Again, trying to help you out and making sure that everything is covered. Now, the first question I received was, do we have to use the pitch deck because somebody on our campus wants to use our campus themes? Yes, you can. This is not a requirement. It's only a suggestion. It's only to help you out to walk through it. As Kevin says, if you want to just leave it as is, all the colors, and just add the questions, please do. If you want to add photographs and pictures of what you're doing, please do. Or if you want to change the template to represent your college and everything, you can do that too. But we decided that this was another level of trying to provide assistance and working through the questions, problem solving, and making sure that everything's done. And like question 7 has multiple things. It does not mean that all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions have to be done on slide 7. My slides are 15 minutes. 15. I'm on slide number 8 to give you guys a heads up. And you can do slide 7 into 3 slides and divide it out and things of that sort. And also, the question was, how many people do we have to have on stage? Say there's 4 of you. This can be your 5th man on stage. So use this as your 5th person to answer questions that you may not be able to get to on campus. For example, add a map of where you're located. Show that you're in the middle of Chicago. Show that you're in the middle of Nebraska. Because when you say Mid-Plains Community College, is that Montana? I mean, Mid-Plains. So a lot of people where we think we reside, we know, but this is a national competition. So use the slide to show some of your personality of your college. We do serve only 10,000 students or only 5,000 students. Or one college, I think, Kevin, we're working with serves like 50 or 60,000 students because of the metropolitan area that they're in. So use this as the 5th man of your presentation. Anything, Mary or Kevin, you would like to add to the PowerPoint?
Yeah, I'm going to reiterate that 5th man, and you do not have to read every single thing on your slide. Okay. The individuals, they can see it, highlight those things. So like, you know, the boxes or the aesthetics that you really want to bring out, but you don't have to read every single thing on your slide.
Because the judges do read the slides. They are listening to your presentation and they're reading the slides. And the judges will, for example, with the financial slide, will say, can you go back to slide 5? Because we have some questions about your financials. Or sometimes they'll even take a picture of that to discuss when they start deliberate after the competition. So yes, you do not have to read off every financial line item, but the judges do pay attention of what is going on. And partners, if you've already have partners assigned, put your partners on the PowerPoint, use their logo, make sure they're branded and things of that sort, that you do have the community support. So use it as your marketing and billboard. So I'm going to stop this because we're going about quarter till, and I'm going to go back to hopefully the PowerPoint.
While you do that, Darcy, there's another question. Are the judges given a copy of our slides?
No, they are not. I asked for the slides before we go to California, and I do not ask for the slides in the semifinal. We all see them for the first time, and the judges see them all for the first time. So they are collected in California, but they are not given. So the judges are seeing the presentations fresh. The only thing that they are seeing is your application. And if there's any changes, say you asked for 55,000 and going through the semifinals, you realize you only need 35,000. If you make any changes, I will add that to the packet. So there is a packet of the judges sheet, the spreadsheet of your initial application, and any updates that you may wish. But for the actual PowerPoint, they do not see it until you present it on stage. Anything else, Suzanne?
Not at this time.
Okay, do you see pitch guidelines on your screen?
No, we're looking at the introduction slide. Now we're looking at pitch guidelines,
Okay, now you're looking at pitch guidelines. Okay,
but we
so
can't, it's a little small.
it's small.
No, there we go. We can see it fine now.
Okay, do you see resources part 1?
Yes.
Okay, so we went over the resources. We went through the different application, focus on your pitch presentation. You have your title, the contact information, a brief description of your project, and really what problem or challenge are you trying to resolve? That is the big thing. And then how might your project provide a solution to the problem or challenge in your area? And let me also say that we have had several colleges who were awarded funding One college did have to return their full amount because of guidelines that they did not realize at the federal and state level and local level that they got into, and it became a state issue, and so they were not able to proceed. That is not a negative whatsoever, not a negative. Also, one college was, I think, awarded 22,000, was it, Kevin? And they returned 5,000 of it. They realized between the other funding that came in and support from other areas that they did not need the full 22,000, and they did return back that 5,000. And so that again is not a negative. So again, this is all about positivity, supporting your community, supporting people's career paths and success, and not about hindering anyone. So I do want to share that we've had that occur over the past couple years. Again, how much funding is will it take to execute your project? Timeline. What is your timeline? And then I'm going to add Mary and Kevin to this in a minute, but we have had colleges that could implement. The award was in October, funding received in November, and they were able to implement in summer school or August. We have had colleges that have put everything in place and they can't find an instructor and the project hasn't even started yet. Then, like I said, one college had worked on the project for 2 years to get it through the state legislature and get some of the rules, regulations changed, and they had to return the full amount because of the different things. So your timeline, we do want one, but we do recognize it may not occur realistically due to unforeseen objects. With the cars, they couldn't get an EV car. They're in high demand. It took them 9 months to get an EV car, and there's a whole story behind that. But they finally got one in a direction that they never thought they had because, again, from a community, they reached out to community and they helped them out. Mary, Kevin, do you want to say anything about, again, about funding or the timeline or how to sustain your project financially into the future?
Well, we asked for, our project obviously cost way more than we were awarded, but that amount of money allowed us to move forward, and we were able to implement it in our time so we are actually in the program right now. And so just being reasonable in our ask, I'm glad we were. I'm glad we didn't go over,
I'll just add, think about how you're going to make this a continuance in the future. Think about if you don't get awarded anything, what will you do? That's a very hard question, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to do your project. You don't know how right this second, but you're going to do that project. And it may be a stretch to think about. And you may not have that answer right now, but this is something that you really have to, how will we sustain this? And this is where your entrepreneurial creativity comes in. And this last one, how many students can be served? That keyword, serve, this academic year, semester, etc. That's when you can start giving some future projections. This project may draw in individuals that you currently don't serve. So doing this will allow us to have X amount of retention going forward because of what's taking place within our community.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And then, because it's going 10 till, again, will any jobs be created? Are any businesses? Those are hard questions to ask, especially if you're doing welding or electrician, because some of them have to be an apprentice for a couple years before they can go in to start their own business and things of that sort. So, but if you have a sense historically that you keep up with your alumni, there's your support. Historically, we've had 3 alumni start their business out of their electrical HVAC program. What are your key indicators? That is one of the key questions that the judges do ask about, is like, how do you track whether it's success? Well, success is sustainability of the program and you're moving forward, but are you looking at any other indicators for success that is unique to your area and to your college? And the big key is, a couple years ago, we had several colleges that used acronyms throughout their entire presentation that were known locally to their area. And the judges got a little bit lost, the audience got a little bit lost. So if you're going to use acronyms, at least the first time, pronounce it like National Aeronautics and Space Administration, otherwise known as NASA, or like we have MDI, which for where I live is Merchants Distributors Incorporated. But in another part of the country, it's also known as Multiple Document Interface. So if when you put your presentations together and you locally are using acronyms or statements that you know, please be aware that you're talking to a national audience who may not know what you're talking about. So that's one of those lessons learned. And I'm going to hold off on Mary and Kevin one more minute and then ask them to do summary. So this is what I was alluding to about feedback earlier, is like, how long did it take you to prepare? 3 to 8 months. We get feedback that we could have used more time. What do you wish you had known before started? Practicing the pitch with people who do not know the topic. We've related to that. What was the greatest outcome or unexpected surprise achieved? Receiving matching funds from our community partners and the college board of directors. Did you encounter any unexpected hurdles? Yes, state and federal regulations, and I explained what happened to that group. And any suggestions in creating that college team before the pitch competition, and if you win after the pitch competition. Confirm you have representation from across campus and the community if applicable. And I'm going to add one more thing before I get. Make sure you have your funding process involved, because a lot of the campuses will use their foundations to deposit the check into instead of going into a state account. Make sure your administrators and whoever does the funding and handles the money on your campus know that you're doing this and know that a check may be coming, whether it's a $5,000 check or a $60,000 check, because one campus entirely stopped for 9 months because they could not figure out where to deposit the money. One side of the campus wanted it on the fiscal side, the other side of campus wanted it in their foundation. So if you're going through this process, please know where you're going to deposit these funds so you can start spending it immediately. But we had one campus that had to wait 9 months, one campus had to wait around 4 months in order to work it out, and it can be a logistical thing. So that's one of the key things that Carlene wanted me to share before I let you go. So Mary, Kevin, what would you like to add?
Well, I will just say that don't think, because we are a rural community college, we serve, I think our joke was we have more cattle than students, and we know that's true. But don't think that your project isn't impactful. My project impacted, from 5 to 8 students, but NACCE saw the value in it. And again, and going back to the key indicators, that's another thing. Key indicators, well, we'd love to say we opened all these businesses. We had 5 to 8 students be successful in a program, and sometimes that's huge. Yes, we hope that they eventually go on and are able to open their own contracting or work for a successful contractor. In other words, don't think the outcome is too small to be worthy of a project.
Mary she hit the nail right on the head with that. What you do can go beyond you in so many ways that you may not even recognize it. And so don't think less of the project before you even start it. Go in with, yes, you can win. This is needed. It will have an impact.
And with that, every college has a different project that's unique to them. Mary's doing tiny homes that involves the electricity, HVAC, plumbing, I mean, the whole 9 yards. And if I may share, Mary, it's going to veterans. So these tiny homes are supporting the veterans. We have another college that is in the mountains, and transportation is a huge issue. So they pitched a trailer to transport welding, I don't want to say horseshoe, blacksmithing, and electrical blacksmithing and plumbing, I think. And they're going to community events and doing weekend and evening deals on the other side of the mountain into these areas where people have signed up for these. So they're taking the training to their community. So no idea whether you're just remodeling a space on your campus to add a barbering area, if you're working with your turf grass students, you're working with your HVAC. No project is too big or too small to be considered, like Mary said. The key is putting people to work and support. And so we have 3 minutes. I try to stay. Suzanne, are there any other questions? And then I'm gonna leave the last word with Mary and Kevin.
We just have one, and it is, will the slide deck be sent out to us?
It is on the website. So it's on the website already posted and available. And thank you, Suzanne. And then Mary, Kevin, do you have any departing words?
Just go for it and enjoy the experience, and really rely on Darcy and Kevin. And when you get a mentor, just rely on those people for their input, and everybody's so helpful.
You can do it.
And with that, thank you very much for your time today. Thank you for spending an hour with us. And shoot me an email. It's my last name. I'll ask Suzanne. She puts our contact in. You'll be sent this after later this afternoon or first thing in the morning, and I'm available. So thank you for your time today, and we wish you a good afternoon.
Have a